What's going on YouTube? Today here on the channel we're going to be doing a watermelon penetration effectiveness test. I know that was kind of a mouthful, but basically what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be taking these two rifles here. This one is a Nylon 66 in 22 LR, and this one is a Savage, the A17 in 17 HMR, and we're going to be comparing the two. We're going to be shooting at a couple different watermelons, regular sized watermelons. We're going to just kind of have two up on our stand, just over right there. And then these 2x6s, after we do the controlled test, we're going to put in place these 2x6s in front of each watermelon respectively, one for the 22 and one for the 17. And we're going to see the penetration performance out of each of these cartridges and see what effects they have on the watermelon behind it. So I'll just get everything set up and we'll get going here. So for the ammo today, we're going to be using two very basic, very common off-the-shelf rounds that you can get. For the 17 HMR on the left, we're just going to be using 17 grain VMAX. And for the 22 LR on the right, we're just going to be using, I think this one is from Browning, and it's just a lead or carbide round nose, but it actually has a higher muzzle velocity. It's kind of somewhere in between your very fast rounds, I forget what they're called, and your standard 22. I believe these ones have an advertised box advertisement of 1440 feet per second, whereas the VMAX here, the 17 HMR, I think it's like 2550 feet per second. So those are the two rounds that we're going to be using today. Okay, so we got our watermelon set up on our makeshift planter stand here, and we're going to be shooting from, it's right there, it's about, not focus on my finger, it's about 50 yards away. Okay, so it looks like that was a pretty good first solid hit with the unbarricaded 22 LR out of the Nylon 66 rifle. So we got our exit wound right there. It's actually pretty gnarly for what it is, and it looks like it just punched a hole straight through. But the exit did far more damage than I thought it would. Here's the entry. See, it started to split right around here. And then on the exit, it did the same thing, just a lot more magnified on the back. Okay, so the Nylon 66 and the 22 LR, not trying to make excuses here, but it is shooting really, really high. So what I'm doing is, because it's got a front post sight and then the little Valley V notch in the rear sights, the front post sight is it's pretty much resting at the bottom of the valley in the rear sight notch. But the windage is fine though, and I took a few shots at it. These were Some of these were sighting in shots just to see where the 22 is shooting. That was one of the shots I took, and I think that might have been the last one I took, because I took 3 shots at this. The first shot went around somewhere here and just missed the plywood, or just missed the 2x6. The second shot was here, which is that shot there, which is kind of skimmed out the top there. And the third shot was probably this one, connected somewhere around where the first shot was, and thus created a bigger cavity. But these results are to be expected from the 22. Oh, looks like we might have got a full pass-through right there. Okay, so my last shot probably would have been a clean one, because I believe that's its exit channel right there. And then there's the top shot, that one right there. That's where he came out. He came in where that wood's sticking out. And that's the wound cavity it made. But granted, that's 2 shots literally side by side. So with a round nose graphite lead projectile, these results are to be expected, but still, that's still pretty gnarly for a 22. All right, on to the 17 HMR. All right, so here we have the non-barricaded, I refer to that as barricade, the non-barricaded watermelon for the 17 HMR 17 grain VMAX. So I think the results kind of speak for themselves here. So we take a look at our crime scene here, and it absolutely just liquefied the inside of this poor watermelon here. Wonder if we can find if there's an entry or exit. It's kind of tough to put the pieces all back together since they're everywhere. So it looks like that might have been the entrance. Then I don't know if there would have been an exit. Probably just dumped all of its energy into the watermelon here, and this was the violent results. All right, we'll throw a barricade in front of the next watermelon for the 17 HMR now. All right, so here we are with the result of the barricaded 17 HMR, and even though it's still really impressive damage, it's not as extreme as when we shot the unbarricaded watermelon. So you see a nice shot right there. The 17 HMR passed through, and that's the bug on my arm. And that's the wound cavity that it made. Let's see if it probably didn't, but we'll still take a look anyway. No, so there's no exit of the bullet. So the bullet punched through the 2x6 and then went into and then continued on to the watermelon. Still did very impressive damage on the inside there. So not as extreme as the unprotected or unbarricaded 17-inch mark, but still a lot more violent than the 22, both barricaded and non-barricaded, which is impressive for a 17-inch MAR, seeing how its bullet construction was kind of made to rapidly expand inside of a target. So to punch through a 2x6 and then continue on into the target and still do that much damage, it still is quite impressive. Alright, and that will do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Be sure to leave a like and have yourselves a wonderful day.